So, welcome to this session of mindful eating. In front of you, you should have any light snack that you choose to eat together with us today. And the process may be a little drawn out, but it really gives you the full experience of enjoying your meal. Tune in to any awareness or sensations that you have in your body right now. And especially as we are about to engage in mindful eating or perhaps mindful drinking, just see if you feel any hunger in your body and where these feelings usually arise. Do they start off in our mind telling us, I'm hungry? Or do they start off in our bellies as we perhaps feel some grumbling? And before we even engage in the act of eating or drinking, if you were going to eat or drink something right now, bring your awareness to your mind and your thoughts and your body. And what is it that your body is hungry for? What are you thirsty for? Perhaps it's what you have in front of you right now. Or perhaps it's something completely different. Now, without eating anything just yet, bring your attention to the item that you have in front of you. And bring any awareness to your thoughts to see if you perhaps are judging the item because it maybe isn't what your body longed for. I have a bag of grapes. It isn't maybe the full meal that I wanted to. Am I judging the grapes? Or am I feeling okay with the choice that I have at this very moment? And as you look at the item that you have in front of you, take a moment to imagine all that it took for this food, this drink, this item to land in front of you right now. The sunshine, the water, the processing, the growing, the manufacturing, the packaging, the shipping, the placement on shelves or bins, the process that you took to purchase the item, the drive back home, going in your pantry or going into your fridge, and finally, the act that you made right before we started this experience of getting it out from where it was and placing it in front of you. And perhaps at this time, you take a moment to express gratitude for all who were involved in the cultivation, the preparation, and the packaging of this item. And you may even choose to express gratitude through your higher power, to your higher power, for the food for which you are about to eat. Now, the item that you have in front of you may perhaps be in its original packaging, or perhaps you've placed it in a container. I have placed mine in a Ziploc bag. Maybe you have yours on a plate. And just look right now and notice what the packaging and what the container feels like. As you touch it in your hands, notice the sounds that it makes. Perhaps how your food moves within the container. And can you smell it in the container or perhaps in the natural packaging that it came in? And if it is in its original packaging, look at it and notice, what does it say? Perhaps the nutritional facts, the brand's name, where it came from, where it was produced, all of the ingredients, the serving size. Notice on the packaging, if it's indeed in its natural packaging, perhaps words and phrases that you have never noticed before. And slowly now, we begin to hold the packaging in our hands and begin to slowly, without eating it, begin to slowly open the packaging. Notice the sounds that the packaging or the container is making. And notice if you have any immediate smells that come out of the packaging or that perhaps have been sitting in the container which your item is placed in. You can begin to bring the packaging or the container up to your face and just look at the item up close. Look at its colors, if you can see it through the packaging or in the container. Look at its creases, its wrinkles, its folds. And continue to bring your item close to your face and breathe in deeply through your nose. And if you need to cool it off, breathe out completely through your mouth. Notice the smells, if it has, if any. And as you smell in, notice where those smells land in your body. Do they land in your mind as you perhaps are salivating to eat? Do they land at the back of your throat? Or do they land in your belly as it's longing to consume your item? Now I welcome you to place your food in your fingers. Hold it to you so that you can see it closely. Perhaps you don't usually observe your food in this manner. And really take in what it looks like. Notice the colors. Does it have different colors, different shades? Notice the texture. Is it soft? Is it hard? Do you usually not hold this food in your hand? Notice the temperature. Is it cool? Is it warm? Does it feel just right? And also notice any thoughts that come to mind when you hold and when you smell this item. Are there any memories attached to it? And now I welcome you, which I won't do because I don't want to talk as I'm eating. I welcome you to place the item in your mouth without taking a bite or swallowing. Just placing it on your tongue. And again, noticing the textures that the item has in your mouth. The temperature, the reaction that your mouth has to the food. Can you taste it as it's placed in your mouth or not quite yet? Notice any of the physical sensations that you have. before very slowly and very intentionally taking your very first bite, slower than you've ever eaten before. Notice the sounds that perhaps you hear coming out of your mouth or even internally as you take that first bite. Notice any of the juices or the textures. Do they fall apart in your mouth, or does it take quite some chews to get through everything? And finally, when you're ready, very slowly, finally consuming the food. Notice how it feels on its way down. Have you chewed it enough? Notice the flavor, the smells, anything else that has arisen inside of yourself. And now again, bringing awareness to your thoughts. Do you quickly want more? Or can you pause for a moment, making space as you take a breath in and exhale before taking in your next bite? When you feel ready, I welcome you to take your second bite, if possible, in the very same fashion. First, smelling the food, bringing it to your lips, noticing how that feels. Maybe a little bit more quickly, placing it inside of your mouth. Notice the textures, the smells, the sensations there. And very intentionally and slowly, biting through the food completely before you finally consume it. And as you continue to chew and consume, I ask you to bring to mind a couple of questions. First, the obvious. How is this different from the way that you usually eat? Do you at all, because you're taking your time, do you feel more satisfied than usual as you slowly and intentionally take bites and chew and consume? And as you continue to eat through your snack, take a moment to think about, what would it be like if you ate like this all the time? It would be much more time consuming, but would you appreciate your food more? Would you make different choices in what you eat? Would you change the types of food that you eat? Would you have different thoughts and attitudes toward your food? And of course, would you be more satisfied? I thank you for joining in on this mindful eating exercise.